Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why didn't Allah create humans as Muslims? This question touches on the aspects of destiny, free will, and wisdom in the creation of humans according to Islamic teachings. In Islam, Allah created humans with reason and freedom of choice. If all humans were created directly in a state of Islam without choice, then the concept of life's test would not exist. So in Islam, humans are given the freedom to choose, and that is what makes faith valuable. If all humans were automatically Muslims, then there would be no tests and no rewards for those who seek the truth. In Islam, Allah created humans with a specific purpose, namely to worship Him as stated in the Quran. And I did not create the jinn and mankind except that they should worship me. However, Allah did not create humans in a state of complete Islam, but rather gave them the freedom to choose between the right and wrong paths. To better understand why Allah did not create all humans in a state of Islam, we need to look at some important concepts in Islam. This test proves who truly believes and who only claims to believe without sincerity. If all humans from the beginning of Islam were without tests, then there would be no struggle in maintaining faith, and there would be no reward for those who are patient in facing trials. On the contrary, by giving humans a choice, Allah shows His justice and wisdom. Allah says, "And your Lord does not wrong anyone." Allah did not automatically create humans in a state of Islam because this life is a test, and faith must be born of choice, not coercion. Why are there so many religions? Differences often cause problems. Differences become a problem for people who are not ready to accept them, even though differences are beautiful if addressed wisely. When we look at the world around us, we will find various religions, beliefs, and ideologies that are embraced by humans. There are those who embrace Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and various other belief systems. On the other hand, we also find people who choose not to believe in God at all, namely atheists. There are also those who combine elements of various beliefs in their lives. So as a Muslim, we believe that Islam is the true religion and is approved by Allah. As Allah says, "Indeed, the religion that is approved by Allah is Islam." However, friends, if Islam is the true religion, why doesn't Allah make all humans Muslims? Why does Allah allow diversity of beliefs to exist? Is Allah unable to do it? To understand this more deeply, we must explore some fundamental concepts in Islam, such as the will of God, His wisdom, the concept of trials in worldly life, and the principle of freedom of choice given to humans. The first, my friends, is the absolute will of God in creation. Why does Allah allow religious diversity? Allah is almighty, but His wisdom is not always in accordance with human desires. Allah has power over all things. If Allah wills, then everything will happen, because no creature can oppose His will. In the Quran, Allah says, "Indeed, His affair is when He wills a thing. He only says to it, 'Be,' and it is." From this verse, it is clear that Allah has absolute power to make all humans Muslims in an instant. However, why doesn't Allah do it? The answer lies in His wisdom. Allah did not only create humans to simply live in this world, but also to undergo the test of life that has a high purpose. Allah has emphasized in the Quran that He does not want all humans to become Muslims, even though He is able to do so. One of the verses that confirms this is His word, "And if your Lord had willed, all the people on earth would have believed. So will you, Muhammad, force people until they become believers." In Ibn Kathir's interpretation, it is explained that this verse confirms that faith is not something that can be forced. This world is a place of testing, where humans are tested to see who is truly obedient to Allah. As His word, it is He, Allah, who created death and life to test you, which of you is best in deeds. And He is almighty, all-forgiving. This verse shows that Allah created humans not only to live, but also to be tested. If all humans were forced to become Muslims without going through a test, then life in this world would have no value. There would be no difference between those who seek the truth with sincerity and those who only follow faith without understanding. Allah has explained that diversity is not something that happens without a reason. In His word, "To each nation among you, we have given a law and a clear path. If Allah had willed, He would have made you one nation, but He wants to test you in what He has given you. So compete in goodness. Thus, diversity is part of Allah's test for humans. Everyone is given the freedom to choose, and the best in the sight of Allah are those who seek the truth with sincerity and try to live their lives according to His guidance. Freedom of choice in Islam? In the Quran Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 48, Al-Qurtubi's interpretation explains that Allah created humans with various differences because He wanted to test how humans respond to existing differences. This test is not to distinguish who is superior, but to see who will follow the path of truth with wisdom and tolerance. Therefore, religious diversity is not a mistake, but part of Allah's wisdom. Every human being is given the freedom to choose their path in life. Religion is not something that can be forced because it is a personal matter between humans and God. Islam emphasizes that humans are given the freedom to choose their path in life. Allah has given humans reason, conscience, and guidance through the prophets and holy books. However, the final decision remains in the hands of humans themselves. As Allah says, "And we have shown him the two paths, good and bad." In Ibn Kathir's interpretation, it is explained that this verse shows that Allah gives humans a choice, whether they will follow the path of truth or the path of error. Allah also said, "Whoever wants to believe, let him believe, and whoever wants to disbelieve, let him disbelieve." As Muslims, we are commanded to convey Islam to others, but without coercion. As Allah says, "Call humans to the path of your Lord with wisdom and good lessons, and argue with them in a better way." This verse shows that Islam teaches preaching that is full of wisdom, not through coercion or violence. Religious diversity is part of God's justice. One of His greatest qualities is justice. And in His wisdom, God allows humans to choose their own paths so that they may be tested by the choices they make. God's justice and freedom of choice in religion? God never wrongs His creatures and always gives every human being an equal opportunity to receive guidance. Allah says, "Indeed, Allah does not wrong humans in the slightest, but they are the ones who wrong themselves." In At-Tabari's interpretation, this verse is explained as proof that Allah never created humans in a state of oppression. Religious diversity is not a form of injustice, but rather part of Allah's justice system. Why is that? Because if Allah forced all humans to become Muslims, then they would not have the opportunity to struggle to find the truth. There would be no tests, no choices, and no difference between those who truly seek the truth with sincerity and those who only follow without understanding. God's justice does not mean forcing faith on humans. Instead, humans are given the freedom to choose whether they will accept or reject His guidance. Allah does not force them to believe, because true faith can only come from a sincere heart. Satan's role in misleading humans. Why are there people who do not want to believe? One of the reasons is the temptation of Satan, who prevents humans from the path of truth. One of the reasons why not all humans accept Islam is because of the influence of Satan, who continues to try to lead them astray. Satan has sworn before Allah that he will lead humans astray from the straight path. Allah says about Satan's promise, "Satan said, because you have punished me astray, I will surely prevent them from your straight path." In Ibn Kathir's interpretation, this verse is explained as evidence that Satan has a mission to prevent humans from knowing the truth. Satan does not want humans to know Islam properly. Therefore, many people find it difficult to understand the true Islam. In addition to the influence of Satan, there are also humans who are negligent and do not want to seek the truth seriously. They only follow the traditions of their ancestors without thinking further. Allah says, "And when it is said to them, 'Follow what Allah has revealed,' they answer, 'No, we only follow what we found from our ancestors.'" In At-Tabari's interpretation, this verse describes the nature of humans who only follow tradition without seeking the truth. They prefer to remain in the religion of their ancestors, even though it is contrary to the truth. Therefore, it is not because Allah does not want them to convert to Islam, but they themselves close their hearts to the instructions that Allah has given. Islamic attitude towards non-Muslim people. How should we behave towards people of different beliefs? Islam teaches tolerance in living side by side with non-Muslim people. Even though not all people are Muslims, Islam still teaches tolerance and justice towards those with different beliefs. Allah says, "Allah does not forbid you to do good and be fair to those who do not fight you because of religion and do not expel you from your land. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. In the interpretation of Al-Jalalain, this verse is explained as a command for Muslims to continue to do good to non-Muslims, as long as they do not show hostility. Islam also emphasizes that there is no compulsion in religion, as Allah says, there is no compulsion in adhering to religion, Islam. Indeed, it is clear which is right and which is wrong. Islam does not teach coercion in religion, but emphasizes dawah carried out with wisdom, patience, and good morals. Allah made religious diversity part of His wisdom so that humans can choose their path in life with full awareness. As Muslims, we cannot force others to convert to Islam, but we still have an obligation to convey the truth with wisdom and gentleness. Therefore, we must be grateful for being born into a Muslim family and being in a Muslim majority environment. May Allah always guide us in understanding and practicing His teachings. Thus, life becomes meaningful because of choices and tests. Those who sincerely seek the truth will receive guidance, and those who reject it will face the consequences. The law gives humans freedom so that they truly believe with a sincere heart, not because of coercion or unchangeable destiny. True story, friends. See you in the next video.